Welcome to the AND Report. Why AND? How often do you find yourself in a conversation where people are stuck between one or more opinions? It's this only or this or that, but it can also be this and that. Or is restrictive and limiting while and opens up insights and understanding, hence the AND Report. I intend to focus primarily on broad tech, specifically AI and robotics, with occasional updates on space, health, and workplace news. So welcome, and let's dive in. We'll start with a look at 2025 in review, and then we'll look forward at predictions for 2026. 2025 was a breakthrough year for generative AI, with ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, MS Copilot, Grok, and others exploding with unanticipated features and capabilities. AI adoption has been significantly faster than internet adoption, 800 million users in 2.5 years versus 13 years for the internet. Agentic AI was a thing, but many companies struggled with rollouts. I expect we'll see further progress in 2026. Investment in AI infrastructure is off the charts. By year end, Amazon, Apple, Google, Meta, Nvidia, OpenAI, and Oracle announced a combined $1.4 trillion spend on domestic data centers and manufacturing projects, as reported recently in the New York Times. Some are talking about a bubble, with China flooding the market with open weight models, Kimi, Qwen, and DeepSeek that are cheaper and use less energy. Maybe there'll be a shift in adoption. While Elon is in a field of his own. As reported in AI Invest, Elon's net worth of $600 billion surged due to SpaceX, Tesla, and xAI's explosive growth, redefining aerospace, EVs, and AI industries. SpaceX $1.5 trillion IPO potential validates the $1 trillion space economy by 2040, but faces execution risks like regulatory hurdles and technical complexity. Tesla's $1 trillion validation relies on AI-driven robotaxi dominance, while xAI AGI bets aim for 2027 profitability through enterprise integrations. Vertical integration creates network effects. So for Elon, we have Starlink connects to xAI models, Tesla AI chips enhance xAI infrastructure, and space-based data centers reduce compute costs. However, the EV market right now, BYD, the Chinese company, is selling more EVs. So there is, as you can see, competition from China in all these areas. So now let's look at some predictions from 2026. This is primarily driven from a YouTube channel I'd recommend, Peter Diamandis, and where he's got his moonshots mates, and every year they talk about their predictions for 2026. So there's 10 coming from the show, which I watch every week. First is the space race is on, not just with companies, but also with countries. You have China, obviously, and America in a race to the moon and dominance there, perhaps. But also now you've got all of the major companies. Tesla, well, obviously Elon, Amazon, Virgin, they're all looking at more space exploration, and the space for data centers is a big topic predicted for this year. Second prediction is about the increased capabilities of AI, and Dr. Alex Weisner-Gross, who I'd also recommend following. He is a LinkedIn channel. He talks about mathematics essentially being solved by AI. So some of the most difficult math problems that are yet to be resolved or understood, AI is now solving those problems. Quantum computing is expected to become a closer reality. There's 2 points on predictions about jobs. One is with the idea of native AI applications. There'll be job losses accelerated with that. So as agentic AI comes into the workplace, there'll be the need for less people. On the robotics front, particularly humanoid robotics, we have robots in the home, digital twins online. So this is me today, but in the future, this might be a digital twin of me where I feed it a script and it's speaking just like me and looking just like me, which of course leads to the problem of fake news. And we're starting to see that in countries in elections, as well as with celebrities. Um, and then there's other predictions, not just with native AI, but as you have more integration of robots in the workforce, or the fact that agentic AI can do more. There's again another one of the moonshot mates is predicting more job losses. So what we're focused on at CCS and with these reports is helping people upskill. So as jobs become harder to sustain given agentic AI and robotics, how can you upskill yourself so that you have an opportunity to work in this new hybrid workplace, if you want to allow that term, where you'd have agents and humans? It's a great opportunity for entrepreneurs, especially young people, but anybody with an idea and a knowledge of how AI works can create businesses. And there's some predictions that this year, 2026, you'll have the first solopreneur who's maybe 18 who's created $1 billion business. But it's not restricted to young people. If you've got an idea and you can understand how to work with AI, anybody can try to become more entrepreneurial and create products that may be of interest. In the world of education, there's a thing called the cliff, which is the fall off in enrollment. And across the country, we're seeing lack of job opportunities for recent graduates, particularly in the field of computer science. And we're also seeing companies in areas of the country working with a community college or a local university and sponsoring certificate programs for people who will help them specifically for a particular industry. Also, in a survey of CIOs that I've done, I'm hearing things like entry level now requires 3 to 4 years experience. So there's a lot of challenges for young people in schools. There's going to be a redefinition of education and the role of AI in education. Next prediction is about fully autonomous driving and fully autonomous factories. And the final one is a health one. And Peter Diamandis and his roommates talk about health quite frequently. There's the term escape velocity, which refers to for every year you live, you add a year to your lifespan. And so some developments in biology and chemistry are looking at extending lifespans. There may be some developments in this in 2026. I would describe these predictions, Peter and his moonshot colleagues, as accelerationists. So they're optimistic and they see a lot of this AI progress happening very, very quickly. But as we know, there's other people who would be maybe have a longer time scale, 3 to 5 years. But whether it's 3 to 5 years or whether it's happening all in 2026, now is the time to be upskilling in AI and also to be aware of what is happening. One of the things I'm doing under CCS is every Friday I host a Zoom session where I look at the news from the week and I release a training GPT, which I'm building every month, which ultimately gives people some AI skills, whether it's understanding AI, becoming better at prompting, and down the road we'll be looking at other things like coding, And the idea is to build a community of people who are learning together who can help them and others transition into a new workplace where we'll have more AI in the workplace. Finally, some interesting news reported in the Times on January 2nd. The headline was America Hates AI. There's a backlash against AI for the obvious reasons: fear of job losses, lack of trust in LLMs, the hallucination problem, as well as impacts to agency. The idea that people are being forced against their will to use AI. Also, in the world of education, we're starting to see AI in the classroom. Globally, more governments are rolling it out, particularly UAE, Kazakhstan, and El Salvador are working with Microsoft, OpenAI, and Grok, respectively. Educators are worried because it's changing the nature of education. Lastly, as I said already, 2026 will be a year of upskilling. According to Forbes, they had a report out late last year. They were looking at what they saw as the 10 skills most in demand for the next 10 years. And they are digital literacy, data literacy, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, creativity, collaboration, flexibility, leadership skills, time management, and lastly, curiosity and continuous learning. There are a lot of free courses online, including more YouTube than you can keep up with. The challenge is to know where to start, find which ones are good, and have the time to watch them. I hope this weekly report, the Friday Zoom sessions, and the Learning GPTs will help you in your upskilling journey. I regularly share some sites and videos that I hope will be helpful. Be sure to like and subscribe not to miss any episodes. I'll see you soon.